All right, we're finally at the last of the components that we're going to deal with here in this series. Um, and this is where we start getting into video. Now, as a musician myself, I know that there's a natural resistance to want to get into all of these other things. I know that, particularly when I was a younger musician, all I wanted to do is just play the music. But it's become more and more obvious that you have to kind of get into further things, and that's how you get into recording. I mean, it used to be nice just to go in and have a recording engineer and a producer, and they did all this other stuff. But as technology has progressed, it's given us the artistic freedom. That's the trade-off: is that we have to do more than the music, and this is kind of the latest vein of that. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm anywhere close to an expert on this. I just got involved in doing these kind of video things over the last few months, but it's yet another thing in the cycle. Obviously, the music industry has changed a lot, and if you're going to promote your music, um, places like YouTube are a fact of life, and the best way to promote is on music videos. So what we're looking at here is Premiere Elements from Adobe. There are many other types of video editors that are out there. I will pre-warn you that video editors are as complex, if not more complex, than mixing and mastering through things like Sonar. But the fact of the matter is that, like I say, it's a way of life, and it's a whole new set of terminology that you have to get used to. Just to give you the lay of the land, this is my preview screen right in through here, where I can preview what's going on. Over here, they have an organizer. Premiere has an organizer that organizes all of either the video clips or the pictures that you're going to use in your, and not only video clips, but you see up here you've got video, you've got sound files, pictures, and they're all incorporated in here. For example, that right there is the sound file, the wave file for this particular video. And if you look down here, that's where I dropped it, is down here in the audio track. And it's, in fact, the same wave file that's used on the CD itself. So I dropped that in there, and then I individually drop the pictures or clips down in here. And then what you see over here are the transitions. And then up here you see the titles. So for example, when we look back up here at the screen, what we'll see is this is the title, and it's on a separate video track down here. And that's because I transitioned it in, and there's things like opacity that you have to get used to, so that what lies on top of something else, and you control that kind of animation and transforming things throughout the process. So there's an awful lot to learn. Now, if I go up over here, you can see this is where I drop things in. But if I go over to edit, we'll see that in a moment when it catches up with me. This is a big program, and I'll pre-warn you, it takes an awful lot of time to render these things as well. You can see that right now I'm looking at the effects, and these are effects that I can drop on any clip. So example, this fast blur would cause it to blur and come into focus. So there's lots and lots of different kinds of effects that you can apply. Tint, so on and so forth. So you can take clips, or you can take, this lighting effect, causes this kind of light thing to come on, and you can animate that just in different ways. And I don't want to get into too much of it because it would just take forever, again, just like Sonar. But you can animate these things so that the light kind of begins to glow and grow. And then, of course, you have transitions, which allow you to transition between the clips. And that's what these things are right down here. This is a transition. Now, you'll have to excuse the sound because, it's very erratic. It tries to play the sound as I move along here. But you'll see, in fact, if you take and you may not be able to see all of this, but up here in this clip, you'll see that it's changing color, and that's because I added an effect. Now, here we get to a transition. As I move this forward, and it's going to transition out. See how it gets darker, and then the other one transitions in. she's not staying with me exactly because there's a lot of lag. And this is where as I mentioned before, as I get into video, I may need to get a little bit beefier machine to keep up with the requirements. But the biggest downfall of not having enough horsepower, and I'll point out something down here. You see this little red line? That means that it's not in its exactly native format for it to manipulate. So therefore, in order to get a nice smooth view of this thing, I would have to pre-render it. And I can select a given section down here and pre-render it if I want to see it work smoothly. But generally speaking, rendering is just a huge process when you get into video, and it takes forever. And you need a lot of horsepower to do it. I get by with what I've got just because I pretty much know what it's going to look like, and I can move this forward and kind of get a sense of how it's going to look, as I transition between things. And then once I get it all laid out, I just make sure it's all pretty much how I think it's going to go. Then I'll go ahead and render the whole thing. And then of course the output of this is obviously you want to put it out to someplace like YouTube, and they provide you with an ability here to go online and take it and just put it right up to a video sharing website if you like. That's not how I do it. I output it as a computer file and then upload it in a very traditional way. But they have lots of different ways that you can go about exporting these things. They also have, if you notice right here, I could burn a DVD if I would like. Now, I do use that. What I will do is I'll take these. This is the basic thing that will produce the video for this song, and that will then be turned into a WMV file. I'll then create another project if I'm going to create a video, and I'll take all of those videos as individual clips and just drop them in, and then use transitions between them, and then I'll create one of the options you can do under this burn DVD is you can output it to your local hard drive, and that then ends up with what's called a TS file, and that is useful because with the publication system that I've got, I can have it use that file as the binary image for the DVD that I'm going to have it duplicate. So there's lots of stuff in here, and again, it's kind of like Sonar. We could spend hours probably talking about it, and even then I don't know that I could give it adequate coverage because I'm relatively new to it. But I think it's necessary if you're going to try to promote your music, just simply because of the predominance of YouTube and videos that are out there, and it's the best way to promote yourself, promote your band, promote your music. So it's a fact of life. At any rate, hope this has been a useful series for you. It gives you the lay of the land. I just didn't think I had enough time to get too in-depth on any of these, but hopefully it'll give you a starting point and some ideas. And don't think for one moment that I've accumulated all of this overnight. This was a building process over several years where I've gotten to at this point. And hopefully maybe it'll shorten your cycle of trying to figure out how you want to put something like this together, so that you can have the freedom to do your music your way and promote yourself your way. At any rate, I hope you've enjoyed it. God bless and good luck with your music.